Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about Typology. I have my final thoughts and reviews about this, I wouldn't say the whole brand, just the products that I picked up. I did the trio set, and then you get like a little, sometimes it's like a little free gift with purchase. So I got this bag, but I also did get the Violet, their lip oil in purple plum. So this was free with purchase if you bought the typical trio that they have, which brings their foundation, you get to pick a concealer and a lip oil. So because I was getting this particular color for free, I chose the other color that I wanted to try, which was Black Cherry, which essentially looks very black in the bottle, like a really deep black wine red, mostly black. You only can tell that there is red in here when you like move the bottle around. So I'm gonna apply this to my face as I talk to you about my overall thoughts with these products. Go ahead and grab a drink, a snack, whatever you guys want, and let's go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna keep this short and simple. I've been testing this out for about, I would say 3 to 4 weeks, and I like the products, but I think there's some things that you guys should be aware of depending on your skin type. Let's go ahead and start off with obviously our first step, which is the foundation. I did pick up the color Type 2 Light if you use me for shade reference. The packaging of these items are very luxe. They all come in these frosted glass bottles, and it is a dropper situation. Although this is a clean beauty brand, all of these products have a 6-month shelf life, which I know is a deal breaker for a lot of you, which is why I want to tell you right off the bat, it's only 6 months. As a content creator, I can most definitely use this product in 6 months. Why? I wear makeup every day. I do a lot of comparison swatches because I have this channel, and a lot of the times I do my foundation or like my makeup in general about 2 to 3 times a day. So I'm using the BK Beauty A101 brush. I sometimes forget to tell you what brushes I'm using, and then I get comments in the comment section. So I can use this up in 6 months because I do YouTube. If you are somebody who wears makeup every day for work, I can see you using at least the foundation within 6 months, but I don't know about maybe the lip products or the concealer, because we do use a lot less concealer, I would say, than we do foundation in general. So it's up to you. Kind of think about your lifestyle routine and figure out if you would be able to use some of these products within the 6 months. The foundation does have a smell. It has a strong chemical smell that I don't like, but it doesn't linger, so it goes away almost immediately. However, I know some of you are super sensitive to smells, so if that's something that you really don't like, then keep that in mind. So this is 2 hefty drops of the foundation. You guys can see that I have acne scars that it's not going to cover. It is a very thin serum-like foundation. It provides you with minimal coverage. It is not very buildable. So I'm gonna show you here on camera what 2 layers of this would look like. I would not do 2 layers, and I'm only gonna do 2 layers on one side of my face. The reason I would not do 2 layers of this is because I have combination to oily skin. So this would be the part of the video where we're gonna talk about who this is most suitable for. I would not recommend you double up on this if you have combination to oily skin like I do, because it does remain dewy and you would have to set it. So with 2 layers, you do get a little bit of more coverage, but you're not gonna get more than this. You can go in with the concealer, but even then, this is not marketed to be a high coverage makeup line. This is very much, you know, clean ingredients, clean girl look. They have a very small curated selection of products. So just for you guys to see the difference, on this side of my face I have 2 layers, and on this side I have 1 layer. What I do like about this foundation is if you apply a very thin layer of this foundation, it will feel completely seamless on the skin. It'll feel like you have nothing, yet you still are gonna get a good amount of coverage. Somebody with combination to oily skin, I don't have to set it, but it does have a very slight minimal tackiness to it at this point. Those of you with dry to normal skin, this is going to be perfect for you. You probably would not have to set this, but if you're looking for high coverage, medium or high coverage, I feel like you may want to look elsewhere. The concealer that I bought for this was Type 2 Clear, thinking that it would coincide with the foundation type because I picked it up in Type 2. The concealer doesn't match for me. I don't know why. Maybe I should have chosen one. It just doesn't. I'll show you in a minute. It does come in this squeezy tube situation, which I was a little weary at first with, but it actually doesn't ooze out, and you do have control over how much comes out. So this is about how much foundation I would use. I don't have heavy dark under circles, so I'm not somebody who applies a lot of concealer under the eye area, but you guys can see that the concealer has this orange undertone to it that doesn't quite match the foundation. Now, it's not too bad if you're only using a little bit of concealer like I am, but when I have tried to build this up, I have noticed that you can kind of see the difference in tone. So just be careful when you are picking out your concealer. Make sure that you're picking the right one for you, so you're not caught in the same situation as I am. So when I use it like this, very minimal, it's fine. You can't really tell. And so essentially I will get use out of this. I just don't think I would be able to use this in 6 months personally, because I just don't use concealer that much. I'm gonna apply these directly over those acne scars I have on this side, just so you guys can see the amount of coverage that you would get. And because I'm actually pouncing this on, this is definitely where I can see a difference in color tone between the foundation and the concealer. And as much as I try to kind of blend it out, it's just not the right color for me. I should have gotten one, but again, I'm not familiar with this brand, and it's not sold at any of my local retailers where I live, so I kind of had to just bite the bullet and shop online. So just learn from my mistakes. You get a little bit of coverage, but not by a lot. That's as much as you're gonna get. Now, if I try doing it with my finger, again, I work with very minimal amount. you can get a little bit of more coverage this way, but not like you would a full coverage concealer. So if you're trying to conceal bigger scars, really dark spots, then maybe stick with the concealer you already have. This foundation does play well with others. I'm going to incorporate some other products in here. It does play well with others, so that's a really good pro. I give a lot of points for products that work well with other brands. The dropper itself is fine. I don't have any kind of oozing out. That was another concern that I had, was this constant friction of pulling it in and out. It does not cause any kind of oozing out of the bottle. The dropper is great. You can control how much product you want to put on your brush or your face. So the packaging itself works great. It was well thought out. Now I'm gonna apply some of my Merit foundation stick in the color Clay. This is pretty much a goof proof product. It's really hard to mess this up. You could blend this out with your hands, a brush, whatever. As somebody with combination to oily skin, I find that this foundation wears better on my skin if I don't apply any skincare. Like if I don't apply moisturizer, if I just apply maybe a serum that really just soaks up and doesn't leave any kind of moisturizing effect to my skin, this foundation wears perfectly on my skin. It doesn't break up. It really truly does feel like I have nothing on. However, I don't want to skip my skincare products. So when I wear this, I do set it a little bit with any kind of setting powder. I use either my Westman Atelier setting powder. I've used my Bare Minerals. So again, it plays well with others. Just set it with what you have using tapping motions. Again, those of you with normal to dry skin, I don't believe you would ever have to set this. So I do like the foundation. It's just, I would have to sacrifice my skincare in order to get it to wear how I want it to wear. So maybe if they came out with a version of this that was maybe not matte, but maybe like blurring, you know, where it has a slight setting where it kind of sets to like a normal finish, kind of like the Merit stick foundation. That just sets to a very normal, neutral kind of finish. It's not going to be dewy. It's not going to be matte. It's just right in the middle, and I think that would be perfect. My skin does do well with a normal finish. I can't do even slightly dewy with foundations in particular because my skin produces a lot of extra oil throughout the day. So at about the 3 to 4 hour mark, I just start looking like a grease ball. Not really what we're going for here on a daily basis. So as you can see, I've blended the Westman Atelier Pop It blush shade to my cheeks. Nothing has lifted, nothing has moved. So the foundation itself actually does wear really well. It's just you have to kind of adjust it to your skin type. Okay, next I'm going in with the Westman Atelier lipstick in the color Brulee. And again, does not lift the product. Any of you who know what this is a very dewy highlight. And because I only apply this to my cheekbones, my cheekbones is not an area where I typically get oily. So what ends up happening is that about an hour of wearing this, my skin almost like soaks it up. and it just looks beautiful. I would never ever apply this to anywhere else on my face because that would never work for my skin type. That would just be one hot mess. But as you can see, it did not lift up the foundation. It didn't move anything around, and I went in directly with the stick. For eyeshadow, I'm just gonna apply a little bit of the Urban Decay Single Shadow in the color Solstice. I'm almost done with this one. Obviously, it is definitely a crowd favorite on this channel. I get so many questions and so many comments of this shade. It's truly stunning. I find it perfect for fall. I think if you want to use it all year round, you would probably have to use a cool toned eyeshadow underneath, because you can use this shade as a topper. But you can see it does have like an orangey, you know, slightly burgundy kind of base to it. And when you layer this on top of a neutral shade, it actually kind of changes the undertone a little bit of the shadow itself. I'm gonna tightline the top lash line with the Westman Atelier brown eyeliner. Then I'm gonna go in with some of the Westman Atelier brow pencil in, what color is this again? Clay. Oh, I just realized that my Merit bronzer stick and my Westman Atelier brow pencil are both in the color Clay. Next, I'm going in with my Merit brow gel in light brown. Gonna go in with my Victoria Beckham mascara in the color black. You guys, I'm really intrigued by the new Victoria Beckham foundation, which is $110. I know, but it's a collaboration, and correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I believe it's a collaboration with Augustina Bader, right? Am I pronouncing that right? I'm not sure. I'm sorry if I mispronounced it. And apparently it has a ton of skincare benefits. But you guys know I'm a really big fan of the Westman Atelier complexion drops due to the work that I do on this channel, and just having to take off my makeup and put on my makeup so many times that you guys know that that's a product that kind of saves me on days like that. Because when I tell you my skin is beyond stripped of any kind of moisture, I use something really heavy and emollient like that has skincare benefits, because it truly repairs my skin within 6 or 8 hours of wearing it. Because when I go to take it off at the end of the day, I can visibly see my skin just is in much better condition. And I have used emollient, like skin tints that don't have as many skincare ingredients and actives and all that in it, and it doesn't do quite the same job, which is the only reason I repurchase the Westman Atelier ones. But my hopes with the Victoria Beckham one is that it does the same thing as the Westman one does, but it doesn't have that god-awful smell. And it's not as dewy. Like, it has a little bit more of a softer finish is, I guess, what I'm trying to say. But I haven't seen a review of anybody reviewing that has either oily skin or combo to oily skin. So leave me a comment down below. Did you pick it up? Do you have the similar skin type to mine? Do you love it? Do you think it's comparable to the Westman one in the way that I want to use it? Because $110. I'm just saying, that's a lot. That's a lot. And I don't even know what the shelf life on it is either. So here we are. Okay, let's talk about the lip oils. All right. The black cherry was a flop for me. I have realized that I don't do well with lip oils that don't have some kind of milky undertone to them. I will give you an example. So here we have black cherry. You can see that it has a clear base, right? And you can see how it's accentuating, like all my pores where like my little hairs of the back of my hand are. Purple Plum has a milky base, and let me show you that difference. Immediately you can see that it's not accentuating my pores on my hands, or exactly, it's not, the color is not accumulating anywhere in particular like this one. You can obviously see the hairs on the back of my hand with this one because the light is reflecting off of it, but not because it's purposely accentuating or collecting in a particular area. So I haven't tried the other colors. These are the only two colors I've tried. I can only recommend Plum Purple. This is where it's at. I'm going to put on Black Cherry first so that you guys can see what this looks like on the lips. And I'm only going to do one thin layer. This is how I've made this color work for me, is I can only apply a super thin layer to keep it from accentuating the natural wrinkles of my lips or accumulating in any dry patches that I may have. So this is it. As long as I keep it like this, it will do fine. But I have a large, you know, I have larger lips, so I need a little bit more than this. There are areas I feel that are not saturated in the way that I want them to be saturated. So I feel more comfortable with this product when I apply 2 layers. But when I do this, it separates and the color accentuates different areas of my lips. So when I wear it like this, it'll start to accumulate in all of the natural wrinkles of my lips as it wears. And I constantly have to be doing that and moving it around to kind of get it to, you know, remain that way. That doesn't happen with Plum Purple. It has a milky base and it wears beautifully. Let me show you what that looks like. This is Plum Purple. Because it has that milky base, it is a cool toned plum, which you guys know is my favorite lip color. But look at that. Isn't that stunning? It doesn't accentuate any kind of imperfections. It doesn't run. It doesn't accumulate. Like the color doesn't accumulate in any kind of wrinkles. You don't have to be careful with it. You can build it up. So this is a preference thing. If you're somebody who has smaller lips and you don't suffer from any kind of dryness or imperfection, then, you know, maybe a black cherry would work fine for you. But I have to be too careful with this to have this be practical for me. I would recommend Plum Purple. I think that you would enjoy using this a lot more. So again, you can build this up. It's beautiful. It feels great on the lips. This does definitely moisturize. Feels wonderful. These products are made in France. The packaging again is super luxe, very beautiful, very clean girl aesthetic. And this shade is perfection. Perfection. I could buy 6 bottles of this, okay? This is the lip oil tone and color that I've been looking for all my life. But it has a 6-month shelf life, so I have to pace myself. Let's talk about my overall thoughts with this makeup line. I think Typology is a beautiful brand. I think their products are lovely. The problem is that I picked up and I'm just assuming this, I may have picked up the wrong concealer and it, you know, doesn't work for me. So maybe I should have gone with shade 1, but maybe shade 1 would be too light. I don't know, but I do know that I picked up the right color in my foundation, in the foundation shade, and it worked great. So with that said, I think the concealer is perfect for those of you who are like me, who use very minimal concealer. You're not trying to get full coverage in any part of your face. This is great. I find this to be better than the Westman Atelier concealer because this doesn't crease on me. The Westman Atelier concealer, although you can get full coverage and it's very nice, it's beautiful on any other part of my face, but when I try to apply it under my eyes, where I have especially this prominent green vein that runs under my eyes, it creases. It does. And this one does not. It does not crease. And that's been my journey with this concealer. So I do love their concealer. I'm pretty much sure I have the wrong shade. The packaging actually is not metal. It's kind of like maybe like a plastic. I don't know, maybe it is a metal. I can't tell by just feeling it, and I'm afraid to squeeze it too much because again, I don't want to waste product. But whatever this is made out of, it is flexible in that when you squeeze it, it doesn't remain in that way, kind of like the L'Occitane hand creams that are made out of that thick hard metal, and if you squeeze it too hard, then the product just continues to ooze out. That doesn't happen with this. You actually do have a good amount of control when pulling the product out, and it's not going to ooze anywhere. You're not going to waste product. So I like this concealer. Foundation, I do love the thin consistency of this that feels like nothing. However, because of my skin type, this is not something I feel like I would grab very often because I don't often skip my skincare, and I live in an area where it's very hot and very humid all the time, and I have combination to oily skin. So the extra tackiness that this leaves on my skin is not something that would work for me on a daily basis because of my particular skin type. I think if you have normal to dry skin, I think you would actually love this. If you're somebody that does not have a lot of imperfection on your face and you don't have a lot of scarring, you don't need to cover up much, heck, you can get away with never even wearing concealer, you would absolutely love this. So this is a product that's mainly up to you. Kind of just think about what your skin type is, think about what your daily routine is, and whether or not this is gonna be suited for you. Those of you living in France, you probably have this in store. So go in, swatch it, maybe get a sample, try it out, you know. I'm usually never gonna tell you to blind buy anything. I do it because, again, I have this channel, so I've gotten a lot of questions about this particular brand, and I kind of wanted to review it for you guys. The lip oils. I love the lip oils. I loved Plum Purple, and I know that I'm going to be repurchasing this because of the color and the finish. Like this milky lip oil, this is right up my alley. I feel like this is something that's probably gonna be in my rotation on a day-to-day. This one, I wish it had some kind of black, milky or brown, I don't know, some kind of milky undertone to keep it from separating in the way that it does, because I actually love the color. I do. And I think that the formula is great, but the color needs to be improved upon. Anybody else pick this up that has imperfections on their lips and has experienced the same thing that I experienced with this color? This is also the reason why I don't buy really deep shades in clear lip oils, because it does that. And therefore, I've tried enough of stuff like tones like this to have learned my lesson, but it got me. It got me because the other colors seemed a little bit too sheer for me, and I felt like they weren't gonna show up. And if I'm gonna spend that amount of money, I need pigment. I need a pigment, some kind of pigment in my lip products. Lesson learned. Next time, I'll just pick up 2 of the Plum Purples. Again, formula is great. It's super moisturizing. You don't need a lot. It lasts a fairly long time for being a lip oil. So highly recommend the lip oils. A lot of you were in the comments raging about the 6-month shelf life. I've gotten a lot of messages about that, so I know that's a hard limit for you guys. But taking a step back from that, I do know actually several people in my life that have a very curated collection of makeup. When I tell you it's one foundation, one blush, maybe a concealer, and a lip oil, I mean it. I mean it. So if that's you, I just have no doubt that you would be able to use this in 6 months if this is all you're using and you wear makeup every day. Like, the 6-month shelf life really only worries me with the concealer. So depending on how much concealer you use, maybe skip out on this. I actually forgot to even swatch the foundation for you guys next to the concealer. I'm the worst. You can see that the foundation is a hair lighter than the concealer. The concealer has a little bit of more orange in it, and it really does show up on my skin when I try to build it up under my eyes, or I try to build it up on any kind of acne scars that I may have. You can see that color difference. And so let me know if you picked up type 1 in the concealer, but you still use type 2 light in the tinted serum foundation. I would like to know. I want to know if I picked up the wrong color. Leave me your feedback in the comment section. All right, you guys, that completes this video. I thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments down below. I will try to do my best to answer them. And if you have any additional tips and tricks for me to make the concealer work a little bit for me, please let me know. Anyways, enjoy your weekend, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. It does help push my video into the algorithm so that more people can see my videos and in turn subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. Have a great weekend. Bye.